This book, Superthinking by Gabriel Weinberg and Lauren McCann, explores a powerful idea. Most mistakes in life are not caused by bad luck, but by bad thinking. And better thinking is not a talent you are born with. It is a skill you build, model by model, until your mind becomes a toolbox. The authors call these tools mental models. A mental model is a simple concept that helps you understand, predict, and decide. Like multiplication in math, once you learn it, you stop starting from zero. You skip ahead. You see patterns faster. You make fewer unforced errors. This book is about building that advantage. The journey begins. Be wrong less. The book opens with inversion. Instead of asking, how do I become right more often? It asks, how do I become wrong less? That small shift changes everything. Think of tennis. A player does not win only by hitting brilliant shots. She wins by making fewer unforced errors. In life, too, many failures are self-inflicted. Poor assumptions, overconfidence, ignoring obvious risks. The first discipline is first principles thinking. Break problems down to their basic truths. Strip away assumptions. Build up from what must be true. When Elon Musk wanted cheaper batteries, he didn't accept the market price as destiny. He asked, what are batteries made of? What do those materials cost? From there, he rebuilt the problem. This method avoids the trap of conventional wisdom. But thinking alone is not enough. Assumptions must be tested. That is de-risking. Every goal rests on hidden if statements. If people want this, if it solves the problem, if I can deliver it. The disciplined thinker tests the most dangerous assumption first. Start small. Launch a minimum viable version. Get feedback early. Avoid premature optimization, polishing something before you know it works. Simplicity matters here. The authors introduce Occam's razor. The simplest explanation is usually best. Add no unnecessary assumptions. Avoid the conjunction fallacy, where we believe a detailed story is more likely than a simple one. Avoid overfitting, where we create complex explanations for limited data. Keep it simple. Test reality. Adjust. Your perspective is not the whole picture. Next, the book turns to perspective. In physics, your viewpoint is your frame of reference. In life, you also see through a personal lens shaped by experience, culture, and recent information. That lens can distort. Framing changes how the same fact feels. Anchoring makes the first number you hear shape your judgment. Nudging quietly steers behavior with small design changes. A subscription priced at $125 seems reasonable if placed beside a more expensive option. Remove the comparison, and it feels costly. Your brain uses shortcuts. One of the strongest is availability bias. What is recent, vivid, or repeated feels common and important, even if it is rare. Heavy news coverage of dramatic events can distort risk perception. Online algorithms amplify this effect through filter bubbles and echo chambers, feeding you what matches your past behavior. The result is a shrinking world, a louder mirror. To think clearly, you must step outside your frame. Ask, what am I not seeing? What data would change my mind? Walking in other people's shoes. Many problems are not technical, they are human. And humans are easy to misjudge. The book introduces the third story, the view an impartial observer would tell in a conflict. Instead of my version and your version, imagine a neutral recording of events. This reduces defensiveness. It increases clarity. Next comes the most respectful interpretation. When someone acts poorly, assume carelessness before malice. This echoes Hanlon's razor. Never attribute to malice what can be explained by neglect. These ideas counter the fundamental attribution error, our habit of blaming others' character while excusing our own behavior with circumstance. To deepen empathy, the authors introduce the veil of ignorance, a concept from philosopher John Rawls. Imagine designing society without knowing your position in it. You might be rich or poor, healthy or ill. Policy choices look different when you do not know where you will land. Then comes the just world hypothesis, the comforting but flawed belief that people get what they deserve. It blinds us to luck, randomness, and structural disadvantage. Life includes a birth lottery. Some begin ahead. Without acknowledging randomness, we fall into victim blaming. Another trap is learned helplessness, described by psychologist Martin Seligman. When repeated failure convinces someone they have no control, they stop trying, even when escape becomes possible. Understanding this changes how we lead, teach, and support others. Empathy is not softness, it is accuracy. Why change is so hard? The book then turns to belief. Old ideas resist replacement. Scientists once rejected continental drift. Doctors once rejected hand washing, despite falling death rates. Thomas Kuhn described this as a paradigm shift. New truths often win not by persuasion, but by generational turnover. We cling to beliefs through confirmation bias, favoring evidence that supports us. Worse, the backfire effect can make us double down when challenged. This resistance creates cognitive dissonance, the discomfort of holding conflicting beliefs. Instead of updating, we rationalize. To counter this, practice thinking gray. Delay judgment. Hold competing ideas at once. And play the devil's advocate. Know the opposing argument better than its defenders. The disciplined thinker is willing to be wrong. Don't trust your gut, at least not alone. The authors draw on Daniel Kahneman and his distinction between fast and slow thinking. Fast thinking is intuitive, efficient, automatic. Slow thinking is deliberate, analytical, effortful. In familiar situations, intuition is powerful. In unfamiliar ones, it is dangerous. The Challenger disaster illustrates this. The proximate cause was technical failure. The root cause was organizational overconfidence and ignored warnings. Using the 5 whys method exposes root causes. Keep asking why until you reach the systemic issue. Here lies another trap. Optimistic probability bias. Believing success is more likely than it is. Reality must outrank public relations. Slow down when stakes are high. Anything that can go wrong. In later chapters, the book broadens into risk. Murphy's Law reminds us that failure modes exist. Second-order effects warn that solutions create new problems. Externalities show that actions have hidden side effects. Short-term gains can produce long-term costs. The disciplined thinker considers not just what happens next, but what happens after that. Spend your time wisely. Time is finite. The model of opportunity cost makes this clear. Choosing one path means not choosing another. Focus on high-leverage actions. Avoid diminishing returns. Understand that you can do anything, but not everything. Success often comes from removing bottlenecks and eliminating waste, not from adding effort. Becoming one with nature. Nature follows laws. Systems seek equilibrium. Small inputs can trigger chain reactions. Growth meets limits. Understanding critical mass explains why ideas, products, and movements suddenly take off after slow beginnings. Order emerges from chaos when forces align. Fight nature, and you lose. Work with it, and you amplify results. Lies, statistics, and decision quality. The book then sharpens statistical thinking. Beware small samples. Expect most results to be average. Assume extremes move back toward normal. Question whether results will replicate. Data can mislead when context is missing. Good decisions depend on weighing costs and benefits clearly, simplifying complexity, and acknowledging unknown unknowns, risks you cannot yet see. Humility is protection. Conflict and games. In strategic situations, the authors draw on game theory. Sometimes cooperation wins. Sometimes retaliation deters. Sometimes the only winning move is not to play. In repeated interactions, reputation matters. Incentives shape behavior. Change the rules, and you change outcomes. Unlocking potential. People flourish in supportive systems. Talent is not fixed. Practice builds skill. The right environment unlocks growth. Organizations thrive when incentives align with mission, when feedback loops are strong, and when collaboration replaces zero-sum thinking. Together, systems outperform isolated individuals. Market power and execution. The final chapters examine advantage. A product needs differentiation, its secret sauce. But vision without execution is hallucination. Scale creates advantages, network effects, lower costs, and stronger brand trust. Understand leverage. Build lasting advantages. Deliver consistently. The core message. Across hundreds of models, one theme repeats. Better thinking reduces avoidable error. It does not guarantee success. Uncertainty remains. Randomness persists. But mental models act like lenses. They clarify patterns. They slow impulsive judgment. They expose hidden risk. They deepen empathy. Over time, they make thinking anti-fragile, stronger under stress. At first, applying these models feels slow, effortful, unnatural. But with practice, they become intuitive, like multiplication, like riding a bicycle. Eventually, when a problem appears, a model surfaces automatically. You pause. You test assumptions. You consider second-order effects. You examine incentives. You ask why. And often you avoid the unforced error. The book closes with a simple reminder. The best time to build this toolbox was years ago. The second best time is now. And once you begin, you do not need perfection. You need awareness, practice, reflection. Progress may be slow, but over time, belief by belief, bias by bias, assumption by assumption, your thinking becomes clearer. And clearer thinking changes everything. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. And the best time to start thinking clearer? You guessed it, now.
Thank you for watching. If this content resonated with you, I would appreciate your likes and comments, which help this reach more people who might find it useful.